Russian drones over Europe, NATO collapsing in real time, and President Trump is pissed. Over the weekend, he laid down an ultimatum that NATO cannot ignore. Stop this now or else. So we've got a lot of news to get to that needs our attention. And all of this is happening, of course, while America is rightly focused on the shocking assassination of Charlie Kirk, an assassination cheered on by crazy leftists who are now losing their jobs for celebrating his death. Something even bigger, though, is unfolding on the global stage. That's why President Trump has been all over it this weekend. NATO, the crown jewel of the globalist order, is unraveling before our eyes. Those aren't my words. Those are the words of NATO insiders who know it best. Military strategists who've been on our show have been warning about this for years. Of course, the mainstream press won't cover this because they want to keep the facade alive. But the cracks in the foundation are showing. And this weekend it came to a head. I think the next 7 days are pivotal. What happens this week will change NATO forever. NATO isn't the mighty military machine that it pretends that it is. Behind the glossy summits and the endless speeches about unity, there's total chaos, infighting, and panic right now in NATO ranks. And now the panic is so bad that even Germany, the country that for decades avoided militarization, is preparing for outright war with Russia. Have they lost their freaking minds? Yes. We're going to get to that part in a second because I want to go over some facts, because when I connect the dots of all the moving pieces, the map layout right now shows an incredible tsunami of economic and geopolitical changes on the horizon that you must be aware of. And frankly, capitalize upon. But first, let's start with Trump's ultimatum here, because this is where the story really explodes. Here's what he actually said. It's a pretty damning statement that I just want to read word for word. Okay, these are the president's words. I'll put them up here on the screen. I'm ready to do major sanctions on Russia when all NATO nations have agreed and started to do the same thing, and when all NATO nations stop buying oil from Russia, in all caps. As you know, NATO's commitment to win has been far less than 100%. And the purchase of Russian oil by some has been shocking. It greatly weakens your negotiating position and bargaining power over Russia. Anyway, I'm ready to go when you are, just say when. I believe that this, plus NATO as a group placing 50% to 100% tariffs on China to be fully withdrawn after the war with Russia and Ukraine is ended, will also be of great help in ending this deadly but ridiculous war. China has a strong control, even grip over Russia, and these powerful tariffs will break that grip. This is not Trump's war. It never would have started if I was president. It's Biden and Zelensky's war. I'm only here to help stop it and save thousands of Russian and Ukrainian lives. And then he points out 7,118 lives lost last week alone. Crazy, he says. If NATO does as I say, the war will end quickly and all of those lives will be saved. If not, you're just wasting my time and the time, energy, and money of the United States. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donald Trump, President of the United States of America. Holy cow. I'm ready to do major sanctions on Russia when all NATO nations have agreed and started to do the same thing, and when all NATO nations stop buying oil from Russia. He blasted NATO members still cutting checks to Moscow, calling it shocking because it is. I mean, how can NATO claim to be united against Russia when they're still bankrolling Russia's economy? They rely on it because it's been all one big giant bag of lies pushed by Biden and Zelensky. Germany, incredibly reliant on Russia's natural gas. The United States blows up their pipeline under President Biden. Their economy collapses. And Trump just showed his cards. Trump went further than he's gone before. He demanded NATO impose tariffs of 50 to 100% on China, punishing Beijing for buying Russian oil and gas. Trump said if NATO unites around these economic weapons, the war in Ukraine could end quickly. So Trump's message was clear. I mean, another thing, by the way, that would end the war quickly is if we stop sending them weapons. Don't let facts get in the way there, right? I mean, so Trump's message was clear. Unity or irrelevance for NATO. Either NATO acts together or it admits the whole project is a fraud. And until they do, Trump is saying America is done carrying them. I'm ready to go, he said, when all NATO nations are ready to go. Translation, no more freebies for you, NATO. No more freebies for you, Europe, if you're going to continue to do this behind our backs. This is a 1939 moment, guys. And what happens next will determine if we hit World War III.